Peter. Sean, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very well, Pino. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's Friday,
Fantastic. Yeah. TGIF.
right? Long, busy week. So,
Hopefully good busy.
yes, it's been a busy week. So, all good. Sean, I know we've known each other for quite some time. We've been in a similar
Mm,
space, but
mm.
tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do and what you've been up to.
Sure. Yeah, thanks a lot. And first of all, thanks for having me on the
Oh,
show today. Um, yeah, we have known each other for a while. I've
yeah,
been working in talent acquisition for about 20 years. It's hard to believe.
yeah.
And I've worked in executive search when I started. And then I've worked in the corporate space for about 18 years. I've started with Morneau Chappelle. I've worked for places like Sick Kids, RSA Canada, and I've been in talent leadership roles. And throughout that, I've been helping, individuals. I've been helping companies with their talent strategies, but I've
Okay,
also been helping candidates find work, right? So
okay,
it's something I really enjoy. And more recently, I've been doing more coaching. So that's job search coaching
yeah.
or individual coaching. And so that's going well. And I can talk a little bit about it today as part of a presentation that I think we're going to do.
Before we get into it, I'm curious
Hmm.
to ask you,
Yeah,
how did you get into recruitment? Many of us just kind of fall into it, but how did you get into it?
I'm totally one of those people.
Yeah,
I was okay. So after I graduated, went to Western. I went to London. I have a passport. So
yeah,
landed in London and got a job through a temp agency. It was
yeah.
like in a deco, working at the Royal Mail, it's like Canada Post.
Okay,
And yeah, so it kind of happened organically. I started collecting timesheets on a Friday because there was a number of people working on the site
yeah,
and started taking on a little bit more responsibility for the firm. And then the contract ended and they suggested to me, said, "Hey, do you want to come work for us?" So
yeah,
it was like in a deco, like a temp and perm 360 desk.
yeah.
And I loved it.
So you start off on the agency side.
I did. Yeah.
Most people start agency side and then go corporate and then go from there, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
I think, go ahead.
and hasn't 20 years just like in the blink of an eye, hasn't it just gone by so quickly?
Well, that's life in general, it
Right?
seems. Yeah.
Yeah,
And but you amass a certain amount of knowledge, and sometimes that knowledge can be valuable. You take it for granted sometimes. And so at
yeah,
this stage, I know you're doing great things and finding great jobs for people, and
yeah.
I want to help people find work as well, and also maybe consider like not only job search strategies, but looking at what the next professional chapter might be in their career. Working
Okay,
with, say, mid to senior level people are saying, okay, I want to think about how to be a better leader, or I want to think about how do I reprioritize some of my goals and get more work-life balance, right?
right, right.
So, and I think a lot of people are considering that after the pandemic, right?
Yeah,
That
many.
was a time where a lot of folks reconsidered what they want to do. So
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying working in that space right now.
Yeah, to your
Mm,
point, really quickly, a lot of people did a lot of reflecting during the pandemic, and they just reevaluated their life and where they were personally and professionally, and you were seeing a lot of people just similar to you, just saying, I'm just going to go on my own, do my own consulting. So it's very
mm.
common now, very, very common. So,
Sounds good.
right. So,
Yeah.
so you
Interesting
are right
time.
now, you're consulting, you're working with job seekers, you're helping them get back to work or help transition into a new role. And then the other side of it, you're working with organizations, or what's the other side of that?
Yeah. So I've continued to work with organizations in talent acquisition. So
Okay.
both as perhaps a contributor, but also advising on talent strategy.
Okay.
So I have a Lean Six Sigma green belt. So I like looking at processes and
Yep.
re-engineering things. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I've been doing a bit of that, but I have been focusing a little bit more on the coaching side of things for sure.
Okay.
And I've even doing some outplacement. So working
Okay.
for an organization who does outplacement. I
Yeah.
think I can mention who they are here is the Talent Co.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be
Yeah.
working with them and
Yeah.
yeah, doing outsourcing. It's interesting work. These are
Yeah.
folks who have been laid off or made redundant for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
Okay.
You're working with folks who might be at a low point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they're considering their strategies. And so I can use my coaching, I can use my expertise in talent acquisition,
Yeah.
and like I'm sure you're doing with a lot of folks, help them land those jobs.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yes. Yeah. I'll provide your information at the end of this call or at the end of this
thank you.
video. But so if anyone's watching this video right now and they want to connect with you, we'll provide that at the end of this call.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to connect with you on LinkedIn or such. But prior to today's call, we talked about and you I know you prepared a slideshow about top interview questions,
Mm,
questions that candidates can be expected to ask in the interview and how to answer them. So let's dive
mm.
into that.
Yeah, sounds great. I'll just pull up my presentation here. You see that okay, Pino?
I can. Yeah,
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, that's my company name, Spark Coaching,
nice.
and I'm going to talk about top interview questions. And three P's I like to talk about is prepare, practice, and perform. That's a little bit of a model that I like to use, and I'll make more sense in a minute.
Okay,
Hmm.
perfect. Okay, because I know.
So, mm,
Sorry, Sean, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I've seen over the years, really quickly. I've seen over the years great candidates. They're great on paper, but once they get to the interview process or they get to the interview, they drop the ball, nerves kick in, anxiety steps
Totally.
up, and they don't answer the questions effectively. And as a result, they don't get the job they were looking for, hoping for. So
Mm.
hopefully we can help them out in this call today. So
You're bang on. And so this is, a quote that I saw a few years back, and it resonates me. It reminds us, what we can achieve through habit, persistence, or practice.
yeah,
So, like you saying, interviewing's hard for a lot of folks. It's scary
yeah,
for a lot of folks. For you and I,
yeah,
it's daily.
yeah,
It's not something that most people do more than a handful of times in their life,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So that's what I wanted to look at today is how we can achieve excellence in your interviews. And
yeah,
really, it's not that hard, or hopefully I can make it easier with this methodology.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I'm curious to
So
see it.
awesome, awesome. You might agree, or you might have some to add here, Pino, but three
Yeah,
questions in my experience, you're always asked, or you got to be ready to answer is tell me about yourself, right?
yeah,
Why did you leave your last job,
yeah.
right? And why do you want to work here?
Those always
There's
come
other
up. Yeah,
Absolutely. There's other questions you're going to be asked, but these are ones I think are asked at the beginning. You can anticipate they're going to ask them early on. So we don't have a lot of time today, so we're going to talk about tell me about yourself in more depth, and we'll zoom in on that. Okay.
I have a question for you. Sorry.
Sure.
Can we tell me about yourself, Sean? In your opinion, when people ask you that, or an organization asks you that, do you? And I just want to clarify:
Hmm.
Do you want to know about me professionally or personally? What's your thoughts on that? When someone says, "Pino, tell me a little bit about yourself," what road do I travel down? Do I talk to them, about my professional career, or personal? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's shades of like playing to your strengths, right?
Yeah,
So you want to stand out, but you want to be concise and you want to get the message across. As I'm always coaching people, you have a few seconds, really. You have a few
yeah,
minutes to establish competency, um, and for them to start thinking that you're the right person for the job.
right,
And so my next slide actually illustrates that a little bit. If you look at why this is important, and you've probably seen stats like this, but the Journal of Occupational Organizational Psychology found 60% of interviewers, right, know within the first 15 minutes that the candidate they're interviewing is suitable for the role, or at
mm,
least they think they do,
okay,
right?
interesting.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
there's even other data out there that's saying even within the first 1, 2 minutes,
yeah,
they've made a decision.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's human nature, right?
yeah, yeah.
So it's really worthwhile spending time working on these answers, I believe. And I coach my clients to really nail that down. And
Okay,
so to your point, I think what you want to get across is credibility, build a little bit of trust,
yeah,
but three as well, connect how your skills are going to solve a problem for them or meet
yeah.
their needs.
Agreed. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a headline, it's a teaser.
yeah,
So uh, tell me about yourself. It's a chance to set the stage, right? Make an impression, generate curiosity, but it is not a time to tell them about your entire career. And where I see people, and probably you do too, people fall down by taking way too much time on it.
Yeah.
They just start going from role to role to role.
Yeah.
Now, if you're asked about that, sure, let's go through your resume stage by stage. But if someone's asking you about, tell me about yourself, it's got to be concise.
Okay.
So it is a time, to shout out about your strengths, focus on specific accomplishments that set you apart.
Okay.
Whether it's results you've driven or skills you've mastered, it shows you right, show that you're a right fit for the position, right? And allow the interviewer to visualize your impact, start seeing you in that position.
Okay.
Tailor your answer to the job, right? So you research the company. I'm sure you tell your clients this.
Yeah. Of
Read the job
course.
description carefully, yeah? And
Yeah.
align your answer with what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Mentioning how your skills fit their needs sets the conversation off to a great start, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
You want, yeah, you want to come across as someone who can competently solve a problem that they've specifically detailed in that job description, right?
Yeah.
And of course, as is good practice in an interview setting, keep it clean, concise, and engaging. Yeah, 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay.
A little bonus that for some who when they're more practiced and they're feeling more confident about their statements, you can offer a hook, right? So after you're giving this intro, maybe you can ask an interviewer they'd like to hear more about anything that you've spoken about before or a particular project that you've mentioned.
Okay.
But wait for that.
Okay.
Otherwise, give this statement and do it in a clear and concise way.
Before we move on, quickly,
Yeah.
Sean, I have a question for you.
Hmm.
If a candidate is asked a question and they don't have the answer to it, how do you suggest they answer that?
Mm. Well, outside of this particular question, I think that you've got to provide the best answer possible.
Right.
What I do say is try to relate it to something that's actually true and that you've actually experienced.
Yeah.
What I do think interviewers or recruiters see through is when someone's making it up on the spot. And if they're
Yeah.
using behavioral based interviewing,
Yeah.
you're going to get caught out or
Yeah.
it's going to appear that it's not genuine. So I think be authentic,
Yeah.
be genuine,
Yeah.
and be short and concise.
Yeah.
And then always be thinking about how I tie this back to the job, right?
Yeah.
Is it customer service and they're asking about how I solve conflicts or what customer service means to me?
Hmm.
You want to tie it back to the job. Hopefully, though, with preparation, and something I really preach with a lot of my clients, with the preparation, hopefully you've anticipated about 80% of those questions, right? So you're not put in a situation where you're having to guess
Yeah.
or you're being you don't have that answer ready or an answer that you can use.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Can you say, Sean, listen, can you be blunt? And I always tell candidates
Sure.
that I partner with, if you're asked a question and you don't have the answer, it's okay to say, no, I don't have experience with that. But
100%.
it's something that I've always been interested in learning about and showed an interest in wanting to grow and develop in that area. So it's okay to say no, and it's okay to say I don't have the answer. I'd rather can they say that to
Absolutely.
me as opposed to uh, feed me information that's just not true,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a short answer to your original question is I don't know, but then talk about, in the past when I haven't known the answer, here's some of the things I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
And illustrate that, figure it out. So back to our tell me about yourself. There's a little bit of a model that one can use when you're breaking down how to answer this question. I put it in three parts, right? It's present, sorry, past and future.
Okay.
So you're mentioning your current position or role, focusing on what you do, your responsibilities, and any achievements that are relevant to the job. Remember, tying it back. The past, briefly describe your career path, highlight key experiences and skills rather than duties, right? What are highlights of the things that you do, experiences or skills that make you suitable for the role? Again, you're tying it back to what you saw about the company and the job description. And
Okay.
then future, end with why you're excited about the opportunity, right? And
Okay.
how your background aligns with the company's needs.
Okay.
Simple formula. here's a great example of one. This is just fictitious. If you like, we could go through it.
As you wish, sure.
Sure. Currently a senior manager at XYZ Core, where I led a team of 8 on various high-profile product launches. Over the past 5 years, I specialized in streamlining project workflows, which has increased the efficiency by 15% and increased profits by 12. Before that, I spent 3 years at ABC, where I honed my skills in process optimization and client relations. Before that, I worked at 123 Core, where I was a direct contributor and was in the top 14% in customer satisfaction on my team. Moving forward, I'm excited about the role at ABC Company because I'm eager to bring my expertise to your team and contribute to your upcoming expansion projects.
Yeah.
And you can see why we've tailored it. We've researched the company, we've researched the job description. That's an example, right? So how do I prepare it? And a lot of people watching this are going, okay, so I get it comes in 3 chunks. And putting that together is something that they've got to do on their own. So they've got to prepare it, right?
Hmm.
And for your clients or for people watching today, we've provided a little bit of a worksheet that they can use that has some prompts so they can write out their answer to this question. And by the way, Pina, what I want to mention is this question is also your elevator speech,
Okay.
right? When you're on an elevator, someone asks you, hey, what do you do?
Yeah.
This should roll off the tongue. Okay. So when I'm working with my clients, I'm big on acronyms and hopefully things that'll stay present in your mind. And that's the 3 P's. You prepare it, write it down, refine it, using that model I just uh, we were speaking about.
Yeah.
Again, we have that free worksheet so they can work through it. You don't have to remember right now. Practice it, right? Record yourself. I do it in front of a mirror. You've probably done this too. Share with friends. I'm going to, a personal plug is work with a coach, right? I've helped a lot of people identify some blind spots in the presentation style. And then you're ready to perform it, right? You're ready to deliver an amazing, powerful opening that sets a positive tone for your interview.
Okay.
And so that's it. It's really simple, but if you look at it in a series of steps and
Yeah.
you prepare for and practice,
Yeah.
you're ready to perform it.
I think I love this quote. I'll share it today with everyone.
Thanks.
Those who fail to plan to fail. So I think what I'm getting from this call today is that if you prepare and you practice and you perform, then you're likely to have success. You're likely to hit that target, right? But
Absolutely.
it's all about the preparation, right? It's for me, it's all about that, right? Getting ready
Hmm.
before you get into that in it, before you get to the interview.
Absolutely. These shouldn't be things that you're thinking about on the spot.
Yeah, you
The
can't
the
wing it.
best, the sharpest, the most comfortable persons in that situation are still not are going to struggle,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And we talked about earlier, like interviewing is not like tying your shoelaces. We don't do it every day, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So
That's a great analogy.
yeah,
It's something we only do a handful of times.
right.
Hmm.
So
So this is my shameless plug here. What I was saying before. I hope this has been of use to you and your audience today. And I invite anyone who wants to discuss this further or might want some additional job search coaching, please feel free to reach out.
how do they connect with you, Sean?
Thank you so much. Thanks for asking that, Pina. You can contact me at this Gmail account. This is a great quote. Bill Gates said it himself. Everyone needs a coach, no matter what your line of work or position. Coaching can be really valuable.
I agree. Yep.
And I do have a Calendly link. So if anybody wants to book in a time with me for a free consultation, talk about how I might be able to help them, I'm more than happy to do so.
Perfect. And I know you're active on LinkedIn as well too. So if anyone's watching this right
Mm,
now, they can easily connect with you on LinkedIn.
that's true. And
Oh,
I'll put my LinkedIn details in that worksheet.
perfect. Perfect. Sean, this was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, thank you for the opportunity. It's good
No,
seeing you again.
likewise. Yeah. And good luck with this new adventure. I know it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, or it's going to be quite the adventure, but I know
Mm.
you'll do well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Well, it turns out that there's quite a demand for it right now, so I'm
there
really
is.
enjoying myself.
There is definitely, there
Mhm.
definitely is. So, but I'm gonna wrap up, Sean. Again, best of luck, and we'll stay connected, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Enjoy your weekend.
Take care.
Take care.